Welcome to the Business Happy Hour with your hosts, Frank Coto from Lincoln Lending Group, Ryan Pelky from TampaBay Plumbers, and Doug Ford with Suncoast Roofing Solutions on 970 WFLA. These three business owners will teach you how to work to live it up, not live to work. Now sit back, grab a cold one if you have one, and get ready for some serious business talk with three hilariously serious business owners. Now, your host of the Business Happy Hour, Frank Coto.
Hello, Tampa Bay. No, this is Ryan Pelky filling in for Frank Coto, and I'm here in studio with my partner, Doug Ford with Suncoast Roofing Solutions. Doug, how we doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you, Ryan?
Awesome. You feeling a little bit better?
Yeah, after doing some shots here, I'm doing great.
Yeah, we've got a special surprise for everyone today. And in studio, my boy, David Drucker. How we doing, Dave?
Good. How
Good.
are you?
Yeah, good. So David is a rare breed. He's one of about 400 people, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere
maybe
like
more,
that.
Maybe a little more. I didn't do the numbers, but
In the whole United States that does what he does.
I don't know.
He's a satellite and fiber transmission specialist. So he's the guy in those huge trucks that if you go to a Super Bowl or something like that, you see them beaming out the signal all over the entire world. That's what this guy does right here.
Right.
So also in studio with us, we have Amy with Heaven Hill Distillery. Thank God she's here today.
All the way from Louisville.
Oh my God! And I don't know if you can see it in our camera shots here, but we've got a whole bunch of bourbon out in front of us right now. So this is going to be a fantastic show. And Doug in our pre-show meeting, he was a little quiet. And I was like, Doug, man, you need to do a shot or something. And then here we go. We've got all this happening in here. So Amy, thanks
Perfect
a lot.
timing.
For
You're
coming in.
welcome.
Perfect timing.
So Amy, feel free to chime in whenever you want. We're going to have a real good time. You don't have to say we're going to get into Heaven Hill in the later segments of the show, but feel free to chime in on all this political and business stuff as we go. Okay?
Business, great. Political?
Not so much. Not so much.
Just get her drinking. Maybe a little bit will come out.
All right. So we're going to touch on a bunch of stuff here. We had the Hillary blame game continues. We had a killer jobs report in February. Tillerson's out. Russia investigation is closed by the Intel Committee, the Republican Intel Committee.
How do Democrats feel about that one?
Lots of good stuff to talk about here. But Dave, I want to get in with you, buddy. So, I wanted to have you on the show because of all the stuff that you've probably seen and done and the broadcasts that you've had. And I mean, it's a lot of pressure on you guys, right?
yeah, it's been about 15 years of doing it. About 15 years of doing it, traveling all over the country, international.
Yep.
Doing every major high-profile event, Super Bowls, World Series, playoffs,
The Super Bowl,
finals,
the biggest event
Stanley
you've ever done?
Cups, U.S. Opens. Yeah, probably. I mean, Super Bowls are big. Yeah.
I mean, you're broadcasting to like 100 million people at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
sometimes internationally, as well, and So for like 12 years, I was doing it fiber, basically. Going stadium to game to game, and worked for a company called D-Tags, a division of ESPN that did their fiber transmission, and I mean, it was fly, like 280 days a year. I'd be on the road.
Wow.
It was real busy, and then. I moved over to the C-band satellite trucks, which are the giant satellite trucks, not the little news ones.
Yeah.
These ones could push through thunderstorms and a lot of cloud. You
got to have a CDL, a Class A CDL to operate that truck.
Yeah, for most of them, to drive them around. But some of these companies have drivers; they drive them around.
But you drive yours.
Yeah, I drive mine.
When'd you get your CDL?
I got my CDL when I first got into this business. The boss was paying somebody to drive the truck. I would fly back home and he would pay somebody, and I wanted that extra money. So I got my CDL and I said, "Now, I'll drive the truck too and I'll operate it."
Yeah.
So I did that, but I mean, I would have to go from California to North Carolina, back to San Francisco to.
Oh,
that doesn't sound fun.
God. So what's the scariest thing you've ever had happen? Like, I mean, I imagine you have some glitches at the worst times doing this type. Like, what's the worst one?
Well, I mean, not the worst one. When I first got into this business, I had the wrong thing connected to a power strip. I'll tell you that. And I accidentally kicked the power strip, the little red,
Yeah.
And it went down, and all of a sudden, phones start ringing. What happened? I think I made something up at the time. But and the worst thing, well, this wasn't my fault, but I was actually transmitting that Super Bowl game. in New Orleans. I think it was 2013.
New Orleans. It's New Orleans. It's not New Orleans. I mean, come on.
The power went out, and I was doing the transmission for it. So, you know, if anything happens within transmission for any of these games, for any of this, I mean, I'm the immediate, my phone starts ringing.
Right.
I mean, it's immediate blame on me. And my job is to know my stuff and you know, be able to, you know, not just say, hey, it's not me.
Are you guys plugged into shore power or do you got generator power?
Both. I mean, I mean, it depends in the arena. We either plug into the, you know, arena power. On the Super Bowl where the power went out, I was on generator power, and the arena went out. But everything on my stuff went blank.
But it was so your equipment was all powered.
It was.
It was just the cameras actually on the field.
That's right. But the first thing you see is black, and that doesn't matter. I mean, it might not.
During the Super Bowl.
In my job, if it just goes blank, bars come up, something, you know, yeah, it's an issue, you know, and you gotta, you know, hustle, run, fix. Your phone's ringing.
In that case, I mean, what do you do? Just run in circles because there's nothing wrong.
Oh, and you got to make sure, you got to make sure it's not your. You know, in that case, right away, someone ran in the arena lights, you know, power went down.
So you knew.
And then I feel better, you know. And one of my friends took a picture on Facebook.
But they don't try to blame you for that, right? Like,
one of my friends took a picture on Facebook of him with a power cord, like, you know, like he unplugged the thing, you know. But, that was scary, but that one wasn't my fault. So
you don't travel around as much as you used to? Correct?
No, I do. I still do. I mean, I'm still all over the place. I go all over. Yeah. I mean, my route last January, I had to go from here. I had to go to Houston. We're the end of the World Series. Go up to Nebraska, do a game in Lincoln, Nebraska. Drive to Akron, Ohio. Go to a different place in Ohio. Then go to Penn State,
right, and
then down to Myrtle Beach for an event, and then home. I mean, that all took like 3 weeks.
And you're driving that big old truck everywhere.
Yeah, just me and that thing now.
Now, is it you by yourself, or do you have like
everywhere? I used to fly everywhere, first class, beautiful hotels, beautiful rental cars.
Is it you by yourself, or do you have a
No, I'm by myself.
Wow.
I mean, I run on that event. I mean, I'm in charge of transmission.
Gotcha.
I mean,
you don't have no like co-passenger with you driving?
No.
That stinks.
No. And now we're restricted by the ELD system. Like the trucks are connected.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
you
mean,
can only drive a certain number of hours.
Man, you can't mess with your logbook anymore at all.
They call it the Book of Lies, you know, but not anymore.
No, it's not the Book of Lies. Yeah, this is. I really like this stuff, Amy. By the way, what am I drinking? This is the single malt.
Yeah, that's not single malt. It's a single barrel. It's the Henry McKenna. It's a 10-year bottled in Mon. Single barrel.
Tastes like liquor.
I might have to get a refill of that at the break. That stuff's good.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So what else? I mean, give me something else good about this, because I know you got so many stories. I mean, didn't you say something happened with the ESPN off mic? Something happened?
Oh yeah. Well, I was doing the finals game, and the two announcers, are Jalen Rose and Sage Steele, and they were about to do their show, and they did a check-in with ESPN on there. IFBs are called and ESPN said we're going on in an hour.
An hour or
1 minute.
Yeah.
Good.
You're welcome.
We're going on in a minute, and all of a sudden, about 20 seconds ago, somebody started ripping all the cabling down by where all the production trucks are, and they ripped all the Cat 5s, out of their casings. So the IFB and the PLs went out for Jalen and Sage. So ESPN said we're on in 10 seconds. They didn't hear that. They were talking, it was probably innocently, about going out to dinner and stuff, but I think they were both individually married or something. And then we went on the air, and there they are talking.
About going out to dinner.
And I knew it. Within 10 minutes, all I had to do was Google this, Jalen Rose, and it was on the internet. Now, if you Google it, you see them talking. Like, it has the video on. But, that was nuts. That was definitely crazy.
So did that guy that tore off the cords like that, did he get fired?
We had a really good tech manager on board that day. I'm not going to actually say, but he's cool, and he must have just not been in a bad mood that day where he probably didn't put everything in his report. I don't know. But no, he didn't lose his job. That guy was a veteran who did that. I couldn't believe he did that, to be honest. He was a veteran. He knows better.
Who is the main anchor? Was it Sage Steele?
Sage Steele.
I can't believe she didn't have his throat.
Oh, she was. If I remember correctly from that day, she was mad. She wanted to find out what happened.
I would think so.
I would imagine she would be.
It sounds like that. Remember that race car driver? It was like a Formula One or something like that.
No.
And he's like, I want to thank my wife and my girlfriend. I mean, my wife is like my girlfriend. Yeah, it was all over. Like, and I was like, oh. It was like, like, and it was like on Valentine's Day or like the day before or something.
Oh, honey, happy Valentine's Day.
I was like, and he tried to back out of it, but that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, you can't
like
undo that.
Once that clips on, it's like no matter what you do, in the age of entertainment and everything's live and everybody knows your business,
lots of celebrities over
nobody can make a mistake.
No, you're done.
Lots of celebrities over the years. I don't get that starstruck though. Like I'm in the same hotel as these people, like in the elevator with David Ortiz or whatnot. One time I was doing a Red Sox game and I came back to my transmission path and like Alyssa Milano was sitting on my truck,
Yeah.
And I got to talking to her and she was like the sweetest, nicest girl. And Derek Jeter and Matsui comes up to me, asked me to Google, hockey scores for them after the games. Cool stuff like that. Toni Braxton caught me trying to take her picture one time. And I got embarrassed, but immediately, strange enough, she started posing. Like she caught me taking it, and then she was like,
wow.
Doing poses. That's so weird. I don't know. It's an awkward situation.
Alyssa Milano shows up on your truck. That's cool.
You know why? Because she worked in sports. She did something for the Red Sox or some kind of
She was doing the clothing stuff. Like she was doing like all the girls.
Yeah, she had a clothing company. So I think she was there for the game to promote that. But she was just sitting on my, truck there. And, it was a cool girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Alyssa Milano, she was like a bunch of, when we were in high school, a lot of guys were into her.
Oh, she was huge. That's why she starstruck me more than Jeter, more than any of these people. Her sitting on my truck starstruck me because I watched her every day, Who's the boss? We'll be back in a minute.
Cool. Well, guys, we're getting ready to go on break here. Doug, I think on the break, you're going to need to get a little more lubed up, buddy. I want to see some more excitement out of you. A little bit more excitement out of you. So it is March 14th. It is my son Tucker's first birthday today.
Happy birthday, Tucker.
He is absolutely gorgeous.
Got a new haircut. My wife's listening
Fresh
to
the program. We're out. We'll be back soon.
Attention, soldiers. This is General Mortgage here with a special announcement. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. Number one, you better say thanks to the veterans for everything they've done. Number two, you better be using the right mortgage company, 813 Mortgage. And don't forget, you drop the E, we'll shoot them fees.
You have been listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
Hello. Got to get my mic over here. So we've got Amy in the house with Heaven Hill. In fact, I'm going to put on my hat. Let me check this out. This hat's pretty awesome.
A little larceny.
That is a cool hat.
Yeah, it's a cool hat. I love wearing hats, so I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what is it got? A little key on it? Anchor? What is that?
Yeah, it's a larceny. It's got a little key on it because a little story with larceny. If you look at the bottle.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Johnny Fitzgerald worked with the Treasury Department. Back when you had bottled in bond.
Right.
Somebody had to sign off on it. You had to have the distillery, and then it had to be done with the government during Prohibition. He was known to like weeded bourbons. So if you rolled it in there and your barrel was a little light, they called it a Johnny Fitzgerald barrel.
Gotcha.
So that's why there's a key on it, because he had that, and it's larceny for the fact that he kind of helped himself a little bit.
Nice.
But, a little history.
So, I think Hillary Clinton was drinking some Heaven Hill products the other day when she was walking down the stairs.
I don't want to be blamed for that. I don't want to be blamed for that.
No, she's drinking something, but the Hillary blame game continues. I don't know if you guys saw this, but she was in India blaming men for the fact that she lost the presidency because men apparently forced their wives to vote for Trump. That's the new excuse. But the best part about the trip was when she was walking down these stairs. Did you see this clip?
She had a lot to drink, apparently.
She literally slips down the stairs. Guys are like, then they all kind of help her.
I wonder if that's her though, because if you look at I don't see her face the entire time.
Well, that's because she didn't
and
want to.
she looked like a
Would you
big
want to show
woman.
your face?
What's that?
Would you want to show your face?
Yeah, but like she looked like a big woman. I didn't think Hillary is that big. Unless she's
don't know.
gained
You're
like.
supposed to burn like this when you drink. It's supposed to burn the whole
No,
chest.
that's called a Kentucky hug. As soon as you take a drink and it like tightens up a little, it's called a Kentucky hug.
Smooth.
I like these Kentucky hugs.
Right?
Yeah.
They're so warm and comforting. But during the election, didn't she fall down like? Was
Yeah,
it?
well,
got a lot.
Someone say she had
I'll say that's
some
what kept
sort
me
of-
from voting that
Pneumonia
way.
was the excuse that she had some sort of health issue and she collapsed or getting into her car, right? Going out to
Yeah.
her motorcade, she like.
But there was more than one
collapsed.
occasion where like
Yeah.
I was like,
But
is she
what
gonna
I-
make it to the inauguration if she's elected?
So that's just something like I don't think Trump would have walked down those steps either. I mean, he's a pretty big dude. Those steps didn't look very. And that's the thing. Like he wouldn't even have tried to do it. But so Hillary goes down the steps. She stumbles twice, kicks her shoes off.
She kicks the shoes at the guy, like pick him up. That's.
But
what
she
I found
looked like she
funny.
gained about 100 pounds since the
Yeah.
election. I mean, she didn't look very
Maybe
good.
she's depressed.
She's got to
Oh,
be
she's
depressed. She's
possible.
literally
depressed.
still blaming. She can't accept the fact that she lost. She's
I mean, could
literally.
that be health issues? Whatever
Yeah,
that
she-
whatever they were saying were her health issues. Could that be what caused her to expand?
I
by
think
two?
she's just a horrible candidate, and so she just can't stop eating, and she's trying to get over the sorrow of that loss. But so enough on Hillary. Tillerson's gone. Guys, Rex
That's
is
crazy.
gone. Yeah, I guess Trump didn't really care for the way he was handling things. He pretty much at end. So, but the cool part about this story is Trump's replacement. So, what's this girl's name? The replacement? Dave, you know about
No,
her.
that's not Trump. I mean, that's the CIA director's replacement. Is
It was the old. Yeah, that's right. It was the number 2, and she's the one that does.
Hospital.
She does the enhanced
HASPL.
interrogation. The enhanced
She used to run
interrogation.
the black sites in Thailand.
Yeah.
Waterboarding, all that good stuff.
So basically, she has to be confirmed by Senate or.
Is it smart to take the CIA director out of position if they're doing a good job, though? I mean,
Yeah,
and replace it with someone else that we're not sure yet?
well,
I
that's
mean,
the thing. I guess Trump
Bunch of
thinks
lateral
this-
movements. It's okay.
Trump seems to think that this girl's got it going on, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of uproar over her because of the fact that she has tortured people, like lots and lots of people.
I think most of the CIA guys probably had torture on, probably
Yeah.
torture back in the
So
day.
what was
I mean,
Tillerson going soft? I mean, was he just? I know that Trump, this whole thing with South Korea. He's been
Well, North Korea.
nonstop.
Yeah.
North Korea.
So Trump basically is handling the North Korean situation.
Well, they're talking about
Hard.
peace treaties now, aren't they?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
it's
and
like we've never even made that headway ever.
I
We'll
don't
see
know.
what happens.
I don't know if we're there yet. Peace treaties.
I mean,
They're gonna
that's
have a meeting. They're gonna have a meeting, and Trump says the only way we're gonna have a meeting is if you halt all your
missile testing,
missile tests
yeah.
and all that. And
Yeah.
then people don't think they're gonna halt it. Like we'll see them on satellite moving around, and then we'll say, "We told you to halt."
Well, it
and
looks
then the
like they
meeting will get
fired up one
canceled.
of their uranium reactors.
Well,
is
there
what
you
I
go.
heard over
It's
the
not
weekend.
good.
Yeah, they did.
North
that,
Korea's
so.
firing those up. It's not good.
No, I don't think anyone can trust North Korea. That's a pretty dishonest regime. But yeah, so I mean, Tillerson's gone. Replacement of the is it Mike Pompeo? He was the old
Right,
chief
he's
of
the
the
one
CIA.
that's taken
So
the-
that's what happened. Mike Pompeo got the nod for Secretary of State, and then so Pompeo's replacement is this torture specialist. So we'll see what
Nice.
happens with that. That sounds interesting.
Torture specialists.
So
Does that go on your resume? Or?
yeah, I mean, that's your job. That's your job.
Special
It is
skills.
on a resume.
Special skills.
Oh my God, I can get anything out of anyone.
Listen, the site was
So can I, like
condemned.
this. Would you like
Code name Cat's Eye. That was the code name of the black site, Cat's Eye.
Cat's
which is
Eye.
scary. That's the name of the black site that she ran.
Oh wow.
His code name was Cat's Eye. So that's scary right there. And then they held a couple big Al Qaeda guys. One
of them
They were
disappeared.
accused of, well, not accused, but they said she waterboarded him like 83 times in a month. So that's like 3 times a day getting waterboarded, which breakfast, lunch.
At least he was clean, At least he wasn't. He didn't have any hygiene issues.
At least his face.
His face is so clean. So We've got the Russia investigation is basically, as far as the House Intel Committee is concerned, no collusion, case closed. I mean, that's no big surprise, I guess.
But
at
that's
this
not
point. That's not
it's
Mueller.
Mueller, yeah,
not the special
so that's
counsel.
the big you want.
That's
to
the
close.
one. That's the one that ultimately needs to clear the whole.
And what's
thing.
Mueller say?
Mueller?
He's not done yet.
No, he's still going, dude. That thing's still going. They're still subpoenaing people. They're still getting, they're still getting records. I mean, that investigation appears to be nowhere close to ending, unfortunately, for this country, because it's been going on for way too long already.
It's a lot of
That's
taxpayer
a long
dollars.
investigation, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, think about the millions. It's probably approaching $50 million spent right now on that. So I got a kick out of the fact that Trump went to California to visit his prototype walls.
Yeah.
Of all places, like you're gonna go to California to check out your wall, and he gives a speech right there on the border, and it was a pretty good speech. It seemed to be well received. In California, I didn't expect that, but yeah, apparently they were planning for all kinds of protests, and it didn't really seem to happen. At least I didn't see any coverage of that. Did you guys?
I think it's too early in the,
Yeah.
they're just looking. He's just looking at prototypes. What did he find there? He found some see-through walls.
We got 20 seconds.
Found some see-through walls there.
Oh
Walls
yeah,
you
well
can
I guess
see
they
through.
want to be able to see. So
good
see who's
idea.
on the other side.
If you're gonna pull one up.
Yeah. So, guys, this is Ryan with the Business Happy Hour. We're having a good time here in studio. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Amy with Heaven Hill Distillery. More from the Business Happy Hour.
Hi, I'm Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers. Thank you for choosing us for all of your plumbing, septic, and water treatment needs. What makes us different at TampaBay Plumbers is that we're a local full-service plumbing contractor that can handle any project, large or small, including curtain-place pipelining, septic installations, and various water treatment products. You can find us at tampaplumber.net or 24/7 by phone at 813-PLUMBER. Thank you, and we look forward to working with you. This is Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers. At some point, we've all had to have a drain line snaked out. This typically involves running a steel cable through the drain line in an effort to clear a blockage. This often leaves a film of scale or buildup on the inside of the pipe with a hole in the middle. The only way to properly descale a drain line is to perform a hydrojet service. We use equipment that essentially pressure washes the inside of the pipe, leaving your drain lines free and clear. The two symptoms of a sewer backup are foul odors and slow-moving drains. If you are experiencing either of these, contact us at tampaplumber.net or 813-PLUMBER. My name is Ryan, and I am the production manager for TampaBay Plumbers, your one-stop shop for all of your plumbing and septic needs. We pride ourselves on building the reputation as the best plumbing and septic company in the Tampa Bay area. But don't take it from me. Look us up on Google and you will see that we have a 4.8 star rating with over 100 reviews. We also have multiple awards and recognition from multiple online review sites such as Angie's List, Yelp, and Facebook. We do everything plumbing and septic, from residential to commercial, new construction to service. You can find us at tampaplumber.net or call us at 813-PLUMBER. I'm Ryan with Tampa Bay Plumbers. As a plumbing and septic company with over 100 years of combined experience, we know how frustrating a sewer backup can be. That is why we pride ourselves on being able to identify the cause of a problem before a backup ever happens. One of the tools we use to identify a problem in the sewer system is a video inspection camera. This camera runs through the drain line and is able to identify and locate any problems in the sewer system on a live feed. We then take that information from the live feed and are able to provide a recommendation on how to best fix the problem, oftentimes without the use of any excavation. If you are experiencing any problems with your sewer system, you can find us at tampaplumber.net or call us at 813-PLUMBER.
Hi, I'm Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers, and welcome to our website. So what's different about TampaBay Plumbers? Everything is different about us. Our company does literally everything that involves plumbing, water, drainage, sewer, septic. We handle it from A to Z, which is completely different than just about every company in town. If you call a plumber, they don't do septic necessarily. Definitely if you call a septic contractor, they don't do plumbing. In addition to doing a very wide scope of services, we do them extremely well. And the reason why is our process and our people. We have spent many years perfecting our craft, and we've also spent many years finding the best people to operate our system. And we have by far the best plumbers in town. I will put my guys up against any companies, anywhere, anytime, any place. And that's just evidence in the type of quality work that we put out. Go online, look at our reviews on Google, look at our reviews on Angie's List. No one else is as highly rated as us unless they're putting bogus reviews up. But our company takes a lot of pride in what we do on a daily basis, and we hope that you give us a chance. Again, I'm Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers. Thanks a lot for visiting our site.
You have been listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
All right. Here we are, Business Happy Hour, coming back at you. Doug, you feeling a little bit better, brother?
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there. All right, so he needs to get more lubed up. I don't know what's happening, man. You're kind of stroking it over there, buddy. So I want to get to one last piece of the news, just because it's kind of ironic that this is all happening. So in California, a teacher who is teaching gun safety accidentally fires a shot into the ceiling where he's instructing this class on gun safety, and the bullet fragments shatter and come down and actually hit some of the students in the face and in the neck. 3 are injured, not critically or anything, but...
I was going to say, I mean, bullets, it's only one bullet, so it goes up, how's it?
Maybe it was a...
Are you sure it just wasn't part of the ceiling that came down?
Maybe it was. Maybe it was like...
Okay, I was going to say, I don't think a bullet fragment's going to hurt anybody.
This is a desk pop, and it's normal. It's... okay. It happens. Desk pop.
So while this desk pop is going on, we've got students literally walking out all over the country in protest of the gun laws. Right now, I mean, they're all over the country doing it.
I bet those students wish they walked out.
Yeah.
There was a teacher.
Well, they're trying to learn how to do better.
Teacher 3 weeks ago, had a gun in the classroom, and he shot through the window or through the door when the authorities came to get him, and something went on with him. I don't know. He was actually got great reviews as a teacher, like a great guy, and something snapped in him. So I don't know about arming these teachers.
Yeah, maybe it isn't such a good idea.
I went to school with a teacher who used to throw chalk at us. I mean, imagine she had a gun.
Good point. No, I guess when I first heard of that concept, I thought, well, it doesn't make sense to train these teachers. But if they're already
you
trained,
have to train them.
I'm saying, to start training. You don't want to take Mrs. Jones, who's only done English Lit her whole life. She's never carried a firearm. You don't want to arm her.
No,
but someone that
you got to have training. Period.
Someone that's already a concealed carry permit holder, someone that may be ex-military that has a lot of gun training.
I don't even think concealed weapon.
Maybe that would make it.
I don't even think concealed weapon, because you go through such little training to get that. I think the teachers have to go through, if they're going to carry a gun, they have to go through full training.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
You can't just
there definitely should have to be, if they even do it.
Yeah, but here's the thing: that guy who fired the shot obviously had training. I mean,
right.
he was a safety officer.
That was my point.
He had full training.
So while all this is happening, we've got the Florida lawmakers just passed legislation approving $400 million in spending, and I believe part of that bill was to allow some teachers to carry. So, this is all happening right now. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I kind of thought it was a good idea for the teachers to have guns initially, but when I hear this type of stuff, I'm not really too sure anymore. Maybe more accidents. Maybe if you have all these guns, the accidents would outweigh the benefit from it. I don't know. So, we'll see what happens with it, though. We got a lot more to go. I mean, there's going to be
desk pops to go.
A lot more desk pops to go. And apparently the NRA is already suing Florida right now for what they just put through. So we'll see what happens.
They're always in trouble.
Yeah. So Amy, let's talk about you for a little bit here. We got Heaven Hill Distillery in the house. What are some of your brands that you want to talk about?
I brought some Larceny, some Elijah Craig, some Burnham, some Pikesville. I have a couple others, but those are like 4 of our classic styles. So Larceny is a wheated bourbon, and then Elijah Craig's a traditional straight bourbon. Burnham's a wheated whiskey, which is one of the first and only types of whiskey to come out after Prohibition. And then Pikesville is a rye, and ryes are really hot right now.
So what would you say your Evan Williams and Elijah Craig's probably your most popular?
Yeah, I mean, Evan Williams is definitely our, it's like our driver. It's the home base. Like we have the Black Label's been number 2 Jim Beam in the world forever.
So that's what I'm saying. So are you guys the second largest or second oldest distillery in the United States?
It's the second largest producer of bourbon, and the largest holder of any bourbon aging over the age of 7 years.
Wow.
We have 1.2 million barrels of bourbon aging in Kentucky right now in warehouses.
Wow.
So yeah. And we're family owned. We've been around for 83 years.
Have you been to that facility?
Yeah, it's amazing.
How big is a warehouse?
It's not. You barrel it and then you put them in rick houses.
Yeah, so you have just giant warehouses.
Rick house.
That is outside. That's almost like inside outside.
The book I gave you, this is a rick house.
Okay.
So
what page is that?
That is 26.
Looks like a wine cellar, but
so you age them, and depending on
and they have
giant
racks, and like the entire facility is full of racks, and they just put the barrels all on the racks.
7 floors, typically, and then.
So how many rick houses do you have in total? A lot.
A lot. I mean, they just built a new. They just put in a new still in the distillery in Louisville. So we have the Heaven Hill Bourbon Heritage Center in Bardstown, where we distill a lot of things, and we have a brick house there. And then we have a distillery in Louisville, like downtown, and that's called the Burnham Distillery. So they just put a new still in. They didn't think they'd have to do that, but because brown spirits have taken off so much in the last few years.
Yeah,
you saw vodka take off so much, and
bourbon's become so popular. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and the millennials are really getting into it.
I said bourbons have become really popular, and the problem with any liquor that it takes a while for it to ferment. So then it just And
unlike vodka, you can't just make it, bottle it, and ship it out the next day.
Correct.
Right.
Like when rye started getting popular, the reason you can't get a lot of certain rye is, it's a minimum 4 years on most of those, at least the ones we're doing, and so you have to plan 4 years in advance, or 10 years in advance, or 7 years in advance, depending on which one it is.
Have 18 and a 23 year.
It really is incredible to me that you can make a profit. You can store this stuff, and the way I understand it is these barrels, they have shrinkage, right?
Yes. It's called shrinkage.
No one likes shrinkage.
Angel share.
Angel share.
So it's the longer it's in there,
evaporates.
It evaporates, and the higher that it is in the rick house, it depends on what style of bourbon you want. So Pikesville may be on the top, where Rittenhouse rye may be on the bottom. That gives it a different flavor
because of the temperature difference in the rick house.
And depending on, do we have harsh winters or summers that were heated, how much it goes in and out of the barrel. So when you're getting a single barrel, so you really like the McKenna, that's a single barrel. So on this, you can see anytime that's a single barrel, it's going to be handwritten. And so a lot of times I'll keep the end of each one and just kind of taste them against each other. Right.
He likes it all.
But that way, I'll taste. They don't taste. They're very similar, in their profile, but they're going to have a little bit of. If you're used to drink that, they're going to have little notes different. And that's why people like to collect single barrels.
And it's got to be from Kentucky if it's bourbon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, consider the real true bourbon.
No, well, in order to be considered bourbon, it has to be 51% corn minimum. It has to be made in the United States. It has to be made in an American New Oak barrel and in a charred barrel. And it has to go in and out of the barrel at a certain proof. But a lot of people think that bourbon can only be made in Kentucky. Bourbon was originally, everybody got that because back in the day, they just put it in barrels before things had to go in bottles and had to be bottled in bond. Mm-hmm. And there were, you didn't know what you were getting at the end of the day because everything was weighed. It could have gasoline in it. It could have chew tobacco. It could have tea as long as it weighed the right amount.
That's the same way that champagne is to France, right?
Yeah. So all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey. Not whiskey is bourbon. All all champagne is sparkling, but not all sparkling is champagne.
Yeah, so there's
it has to come from that specific area.
Ryan,
that's not how that works.
There's a bourbon I like called Jefferson's Ocean, and they put it they ferment in a ship that goes around the world.
What's the
See,
what's the idea?
But that
with
would be considered a whiskey and not a bourbon.
Correct,
because
but it's still considered a bourbon, though, like you said. It's because it starts in a port in America,
okay,
and it ends in a port in America.
Yeah, as long as it has to be produced in the United States.
Okay.
It has to be produced in the United States in order to be considered bourbon. And
So-
that's why you'll see over, across the ponds and whatever, like a lot of times whiskey will be spelled without an E. Like that tends to be more Scotch than
right.
American bourbon.
So who's your biggest customer?
Like biggest customer.
Who buys the most? Who buys the most of your stuff?
Bourbon lovers.
No. I mean,
United
like
Pelky's.
Publix. I mean, you don't sell to the end user. Clearly, you're selling to.
I primarily deal with like on-premise accounts.
Okay.
So I'm Tampa to Sarasota, but there's 5 of us in the
So you're
state.
saying on-premise? You mean like restaurants and stuff?
Bars, restaurants, hotels. I deal with some of the independents, the smaller independents.
Okay.
That kind of feature.
So you guys sell direct. You guys don't have a middleman that.
I work for the supplier, so I go in and I speak with them and I talk to them about the programming and do they want to buy a barrel and kind of educate them on the different bourbons. Maybe do a bourbon dinner or a whiskey and bourbon and cigar event. And go in and kind of like teach a class and give people information and have like a Q&A with them. We actually are distributed by Southern Wine, so Southern Glacier.
Okay.
We're their distributor, so we sell to Southern Wine as Heaven Hill. Southern Wine then distributes. They have a sales team that goes out and takes the orders, and that's how, because you have to have the 3-tier with liquor.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
So everyone can get a little bit.
So
of
it has
a
to
piece of
go.
the action.
There has to be like supplier, distributor, purchaser. There are control states where it goes. They have to be done from a certain area. Like so, maybe they're all shipped to one thing, and then everybody has to order from there, and you don't have like an individual sales rep.
What is that for? Just to control the tax revenue?
Each state's a little different, so I'm not really sure why some of them do it. Some of them have gotten away from it.
So in
a lot of times it's to not create a monopoly.
If you go there and you want to ship bourbon home, you can't do that. So when you go to California, I ship wine home. Well, they allow that, but you're not allowed to ship bourbon out of Kentucky.
Yeah, I can't. Like if you went in and wanted to buy a barrel as just someone attending, we can't ship directly to you because you don't have a 4COP. You don't have a liquor license.
Right.
Yep.
Or or an off-premise license. So you would have to buy through an account like we will sell to like a liquor store. Like they can taste whatever, and then they purchase it. The PO comes from like the distributor, and the distributor ships that to them.
Okay.
Along with the barrel, but you have to have that, and I think it's just a way of keeping everybody honest about things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
a little more accountability, another layer of accountability.
But like Bourbon County and like out there, they love the bourbon all being out there because you realize as soon as that liquid goes into the barrel, we start paying taxes on it.
Yeah,
whether
of
it's in
course.
there for 4 years, 6 years, 18 years, 23 years.
Oof. So you have an accent. It sounds like. How long you been in this area for?
I've been here for almost 18 years.
Okay, well I can see it's like kind of you're tugging on it.
I try to avoid it, but
it
doesn't help, and this makes it worse.
If
I go home,
guys, we got to go to break. So it's we got the business happy hour here. We got our last segment coming up. Be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers. Thank you for choosing us for all of your plumbing, septic, and water treatment needs. What makes us different at TampaBay Plumbers is that we're a local full-service plumbing contractor that can handle any project large or small, including cured-in-place pipelining, septic installations, and various water treatment products. You can find us at tampaplumber.net or 24/7 by phone at 813-PLUMBER. Thank you, and we look forward to working with you. This is Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers. At some point, we've all had to have a drain line snaked out. This typically involves running a steel cable through the drain line in an effort to clear a blockage. This often leaves a film of scale or buildup on the inside of the pipe with a hole in the middle. The only way to properly descale a drain line is to perform a hydrojet service. We use equipment that essentially pressure washes the inside of the pipe leaving your drain lines free and clear. The two symptoms of a sewer backup are foul odors and slow-moving drains. If you are experiencing either of these, contact us at tampaplumber.net or 813-PLUMBER. My name is Ryan, and I'm the production manager for Tampa Bay Plumbers, your one-stop shop for all of your plumbing and septic needs. We pride ourselves on building the reputation as the best plumbing and septic company in the Tampa Bay area. But don't take it from me. Look us up on Google and you will see that we have a 4.8 star rating with over 100 reviews. We also have multiple awards and recognition from multiple online review sites such as Angie's List, Yelp, and Facebook. We do everything plumbing and septic, from residential to commercial, new construction to service. You can find us at tampaplumber.net or call us at 813-PLUMBER. I'm Ryan with Tampa Bay Plumbers. As a plumbing and septic company with over 100 years of combined experience, we know how frustrating a sewer backup can be. That is why we pride ourselves on being able to identify the cause of a problem before a backup ever happens. One of the tools we use to identify a problem in the sewer system is a video inspection camera. This camera runs through the drain line and is able to identify and locate any problems in the sewer system on a live feed. We then take that information from the live feed and are able to provide a recommendation on how to best fix the problem, oftentimes without the use of any excavation. If you are experiencing any problems with your sewer system, you can find us at tampaplumber.net or call us at 813-PLUMBER.
Hi, I'm Ryan with Tampa Bay Plumbers, and welcome to our website. So what's different about Tampa Bay Plumbers? Everything is different about us. Our company does literally everything that involves plumbing, water, drainage, sewer, septic. We handle it from A to Z, which is completely different than just about every company in town. If you call a plumber, they don't do septic necessarily. Definitely if you call a septic contractor, they don't do plumbing. In addition to doing a very wide scope of services, we do them extremely well. And the reason why is our process and our people. We have spent many years perfecting our craft, and we've also spent many years finding the best people to operate our system. And we have by far the best plumbers in town. I will put my guys up against any companies, anywhere, anytime, any place. And that's just evidence in the type of quality work that we put out. Go online, look at our reviews on Google, look at our reviews on Angie's List. No one else is as highly rated as us.
You have been listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
All right. Welcome back, Tampa Bay. So we got Dave Drucker in the house here, and about a year and a half ago, I bought this fifth wheel camper, and the thing is, like, it's 13 and a half foot tall. You guys, you've both seen my camper, obviously.
Yep.
So it's the air conditioning units on the top are literally 13 and a half foot off the ground. It's like 13 foot 4 inches. So it's I think the maximum height of anything on the road is 13 and a half feet, basically. So it didn't dawn on me how stressful it is to drive around a vehicle that is 13 and a half feet tall.
Yeah, because I've not seen overpasses that are like 12.7.
That's my point. My point exactly. So I get this thing into my house and I hit some tree branches and stuff coming in, and that at that moment I noticed that, man, you got to really pay attention to your route. You can't just go wherever you want to go and expect not to get an AC unit ripped off by a tree branch. So I'm talking to Dave about this, and he tells me a story about when he got into the business. Dave, you gonna be able to tell this, or are you gonna get in trouble?
Well, what would OJ say? Hypothetically, this is what would have happened if I did do it. But no,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh God, allegedly. I was going into Churchill Downs and there, Louisville.
In Louisville, yeah.
Louisville. You know the road, you know the bridge.
Yeah, it's right over by the university.
Second and what is it called?
It's like
was right
It's
outside
very
there.
small.
This bridge was not marked. I mean, there was no marking on the bridge.
No,
you
there's
know that
none.
bridge,
I
right?
mean,
Over
it floods.
40-something trucks hit that bridge a year.
Oh my gosh.
This is Dave trying to like sell on why it's not such a big deal to hit a bridge.
You know there's a different route in there, right?
40 other trucks before me hit the bridge.
Yeah, so, all right, so go ahead with this.
This was old. This is a long time ago.
Like a real long time ago,
long
boss.
time ago.
Real long time ago, boss.
And, they call this bridge the the jawbone? No, the jawbreaker.
They call it the satellite truck breaker.
The can opener.
Oh yeah, rightfully so, right?
Yeah. So I hit that. It was not marked. Not marked.
So what happened?
It's still not marked.
What happened? A lot of damage and.
So I mean, but these trucks. That
So
you
the
drive
satellite was gone.
Yeah.
So what does a satellite truck cost?
Well, I mean, $500,000 to they go up to 1.5. I mean,
I guess how the equipment, type of equipment.
There's a KU truck which does news, and then there's a C-band which is a larger one that does sports. Also, some sports they use KU, so some trucks could have both dishes on it, KU and a C-band, both dishes. You go, and the company will, pay you twice almost, to run your KU dish, and from your other dish run the C-band dish. So I mean, they can get very expensive, like 1.5 mil.
God.
So what happens when you show up to Churchill Downs with no dishes?
No, I didn't. I went from outside of Churchill down to the highway back home. That's what happened. I went back home with my like a dog with his tail, head between his.
Oh my God! So no, like literally, did you just leave the equipment on the side of the road? Like,
yeah, we had a.
Were you by yourself?
A flatbed come and lift the whole satellite on and take it.
Okay, so I imagine.
Were you by yourself?
By myself.
Oh my gosh!
When you wreck something that's that expensive. Like, what happens? Does the insurance company call you right away?
Well, look,
I
was a freelancer, at the time, or under this company, and they have their own insurance. I think what really happened is they had too many claims they already put against other things, and
they had their own insurance.
I have a feeling the truck is just sitting somewhere still, just like it was. But no, their insurance company at one time did send me something, tried to scare me like I had to pay for this thing, and I had a lawyer fire off a letter back to them, basically saying and I also had a lawyer look into the bridge, because no signage, 40-something trucks a year, fix the problem.
I mean, golly.
And the lawyer called me back and says, I talked to many of my lawyer friends, and this thing has been litigated over and over and over and over. I'm not taking the case because this has been godfathered into some law. This old railroad bridge is godfathered into some law where, so we're not going to win. I'm not taking the case. Meanwhile, okay, forget the case. Get them to put a sign on the thing. It's not like I really wanted money. I want you to put a sign on it.
That's the shocking thing, because, I mean, all bridges, they say the clearance on it.
Well, not only that, usually half a mile before, hey,
there was that. Allegedly. There was that, but not on the bridge, not anywhere,
Hey, I mean, it's all about experience in the business. You got to hit a bridge at least once.
I tell you what, like you are now, you're very paranoid about it.
That's what I'm saying. That conversation that I had with Dave, I puffed it right off. I'm telling you, when I took that truck out, and so we went on a 5-week trip last summer, and I put almost 10,000 miles on that thing, and I had to literally, because I was going into uncharted territory for me. I had to really study where I was going. I had to make sure that there were no bridges. I mean, it was a real thing.
Now, do maps have, height of bridges?
That's what we're talking
Google,
about.
Maybe.
Yeah, we were talking about Google. You know how when you put in Google Maps and it says, are you walking? Are you driving? Are you getting in a bus? You know what I'm saying? Like it gives you how you're going to travel.
Yeah.
There should be a truck route.
Yeah.
And I've searched for
Well, I mean,
it
could
too,
you use the
bit.
bus? Because wouldn't the bus be about the same height?
Yeah, but the
that's
bus
a good
takes
question.
the bus route. The bus will take
that's
you.
true.
The
Yeah.
But I mean,
not
the
gonna
bus
take
route's
you where you
clearly
wanna
going to go to places that have clearance.
Yeah, but you don't take these rigs. Like my rig is 43 foot long. So with my truck in the rig, it's almost 60. It's 60 feet. I'm as long as a semi tractor.
Yeah, that
trailer.
truck was 13.2. I think that happened with. I think it was 13.2.
Oh yeah,
maybe 13.6.
Mine's the same thing. Mine's the same. I would.
So Ryan,
me up like
note to self: don't go Churchill Downs.
No, I'm not.
There's other ways in. There's other ways in besides that.
Another funny
way.
story with that. The host of the show, Frank Coto. So he has no concept of trucking and trailering at all. He's a mortgage broker. So he's we talk about we went on this hunting trip a few weeks ago, and he's telling me, yeah, you come on in here, you just come park where I'm at. You can easily get this thing in here. So I drive over there, and I'm like, Frank, I can't even get in the driveway, bro. Let alone so I went in the driveway. I walked in, and where he had me in mine parking, I couldn't even have got in there, let alone get out. So I mean, it takes an awful lot of thought, and so where I ended up going, I had to take down a fence. I mean, I had to take down sections of this actual fence to get my rig in, and then I had to put the fence back together again when I left. So, guys, we got 30 seconds left on the show. Anything you guys want to add? Yeah?
I'll say hello to my daughter. How about that? My daughter Dahlia, and my little son Daxton, and my wife who works hard taking care of them, Tara. I'd love to say that.
Good deal. Well, you just did, so hello.
All right.
Doug?
Well, it's good seeing you guys. Good show.
Amy?
Thanks for coming in, Amy.
Cheers, and everybody enjoy the rest of their day. I hope they
Absolutely.
enjoyed their bourbons and want to go out and get some new ones.
Hope you enjoyed the show, Tampa Bay.